As we start off this wrestling week that has been filled with controversy, I thought this episode of Deep Dive can bring, some harmony back into the atmosphere as we talk about a successful return that we've seen throughout January, leading us into February, and that is the return of Queen Aminata to AEW and Ring of Honor. She has really made an impact on both rosters over the past month and a half, and I really want to dig into that today, so stay tuned.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Deep Dive, and I'm really excited to start off February with talking about a woman that I absolutely loved, and I am just thrilled to see her back in a wrestling ring, and that is none other than Queen Aminata. And for close to 9 months, the wrestling world was deprived of seeing Queen Aminata in a wrestling ring due to injury. And this was rather sad news when it happened because Queen Aminata's very successful 2 years, 2022 and early part of 2023 in particular, were so good. There were so many successes and evolutions to her career in these past 2 years, especially with her stints in Japan and main event matches that she was having in the Women's Wrestling Army promotions and beyond, that everyone was really starting to see Queen Aminata's star rise. So it was really sudden and abrupt, as most injuries are, that really put a halt to that. So when there wasn't much of an update throughout the tail end of 2023, there were times for myself where I was wondering, when would Queen Aminata be able to make a comeback? And then right before we wrapped up the year, the last month of 2023, we see that Queen Aminata is not only coming back to wrestling, but she is booked and busy for this upcoming year. And it's really just started off with a bang. And before we even closed out this year, this past year, we were able to see her come back stronger than ever. And she really took all that energy that she must have had with seeing how 2023 ended with so much going on for women in wrestling throughout the tail end of 2023, and really came back strong in AEW, and then taking that energy into Ring of Honor, immediately being thrust into competition with some of the best competitors on both promotions. So I just want to dig right into it because as I was going back to look at the matches that Queen Aminata has had just in a month, in like 1 week, there has been so much that she has been doing that honestly, I'm just going to say it now. I know that we're just in February. Queen Aminata has to continuously, month after month in 2024, be on the list of some of the best competitors in wrestling for 2024, with some of the best matches so far that I've seen this year. Who knows what's going to happen over the year, but so far it's just been such a strong showing. So let's go into Queen Aminata's return match. And that was, of course, with Sky Blue. And I love that this was her returning match. She comes back to AEW on Rampage on December 26th episode of Rampage. And these two women have met up before in Women's Wrestling Army promotion, which is one of my favorites. I don't know if they're going to come back, but in 2022 throughout 2023, that was my favorite promotion that showcased women's wrestling. And these women certainly collided in that promotion. And they're good friends outside of the squared circle. But Sky Blue has changed a lot since their last encounter. A lot has gone into this transformation for Sky Blue. So honestly, even though they have met in the ring before, I think on both ends, both women have changed so much, have added more to their arsenal. So it was really great seeing these two women come together in the ring. And Sky Blue comes into this match wanting to play mind games, but Queen Aminata is all business in this return. And even with Aminata staying focused, Sky Blue's vicious side has been making her a hard opponent to beat. And Queen Aminata at some point gains control by getting a German suplex in toward the middle of the match, a hip attack, and a running boot slide. However, Sky Blue is just constantly on it, and she gets a dragging sleeper to on Aminata to get the win. And sometimes, obviously, definitely something that people have brought up with AEW. We may not have the ability to see a really long match, but I think that it was still showing a lot of promise with Queen Aminata coming back, that she would be able to face some of the top competitors on the women's side already coming in, to show that even though she was gone for a bit, she still has an important spot. And I think with all of the things that have been talked about and brought up to Tony Khan with AEW's use of women, that this might also be a sign that there would be more care, more time, more consideration into really showcasing the women on the roster. And I thought, regardless of how long the match, I thought that this was a solid match to bring Queen Aminata back, but then to also continue to showcase how vicious Sky Blue is in her matches. So all around, I thought this was a good showing for Queen Aminata. We have Queen Aminata come back to AEW, but she decides to also take her talents to Ring of Honor with her Ring of Honor debut. And I loved how they built up to that and had the fans gear up to seeing her. Not where, which I always despise when someone comes back and sometimes you don't have a build up for it. Even if you let someone have a build up for at least a day or so to allow the fans to really tune in and put eyes on someone that they already like, making that debut into a promotion. But Ring of Honor did do that. They allowed the fans to soak in the fact that Queen Aminata is going to be going to both Ring of Honor and AEW, tearing it up. And I absolutely loved this debut, like Queen Aminata going against Maya World. I just love this this entrance of Queen Aminata coming to Ring of Honor, because you can really see with her personality and the way that she carried herself coming into this match that, one, she was really excited to make this debut, but that she is not playing games with this run, and she's coming to make it clear that she is going to be at the top of the rank in this ranking with the women in Ring of Honor. And you got that even from her coming into this match, making her entrance. And I must say that I really liked how they picked who Queen Aminata was going to face, because I really think, as I was watching this match, that Maya World really showed a lot of potential for only being in the sport for a year. And I like how she had a confidence facing Queen Aminata, who definitely many times has such an aggressive offense that sometimes it can be intimidating when you're facing off against her. But Maya certainly held her own in this match, and it was impressive to see. The juicy lock submission is put in quite quickly with Queen Aminata, along with some brutal kicks to the face that even with Maya really coming strong and trying to have a strong offense, Queen Aminata, like I said, she really must have been building in from being held back for 9 months with this injury, and really came out strong and had an answer to every counter that Maya had. And those brutal kicks to the face really sealed the deal for Maya World, and Queen Aminata got the win to get that victorious debut. there. And it was a very successful Ring of Honor debut for Queen Aminata. And you can really see by the look on Queen Aminata's face when this match was done that she is not playing games. She will go as vicious and as brutal as she needs to really solidify herself on this roster. And as I stated, and you can definitely see with Queen Aminata fighting someone that's really, really good, like Maya World, even with her still trying to gain her bearings as she's new to the business, there is some stiff competition on the women's roster in Ring of Honor. And I certainly think that Queen Aminata knows that, and she's actually thrilled by it. And a side note, I actually hope we see more of Maya World in the future, and possibly we can have a rematch because I really liked the chemistry between Queen Aminata and Maya World. So hopefully we might see that down the road. So really great Ring of Honor debut. I don't think it could have gone any better. So then we go back to AEW with such a great opportunity. Her third match back into AEW, or her third match back into wrestling after injury. Will we have Queen Aminata face off against Mariah May? Mariah making her debut match, as she had already made appearances in AEW, but this was the long-awaited debut for Maria May. And right after Queen Aminata's victory in Ring of Honor, she gets into the ring with someone that a lot of people have, like myself, been looking forward to see in the AEW ring, which is Mariah. And I think that Mariah is a really great prospect for this ever-changing but still growing AEW women's roster. Her success in stardom in such a short period of time is something that should not be taken lightly. Mariah really bust her butt in stardom and really had to prove that she was worth her salt, and she definitely is far more superior in the ring than sometimes people might assume with just looking at her. She is very brutal and aggressive in her style of wrestling. So it was really cool to see that these two were going to be paired up. And then also, I feel like a testament to how serious AEW is going to take Queen Aminata's return with having her face off against Mariah when this was her debut. So it shows that level of trust and that level of almost like giving the seal of approval that Aminata is going to be a strong competitor for the AEW women's roster with her having this match with Mariah May. And it was very clear that both women were starting out this match kind of like testing each other with some stiff chops, and Mariah May hitting a brilliantly executed drop kick to gain control of this match early on. Aminata really had to go on the defense to avoid those chops from Maria after exiting the ring to gain her bearings, and Queen Aminata escapes from the straitjacket that Mariah puts on, such a great hold. But May is just staying on Aminata throughout this match and really showing that despite everything that people might see in Mariah's appearance, she is someone that locks in on her opponent, and you see that there. And it was just amazing to see this side of Mariah May come out in this match. We have a stiff set of slaps from Aminata to Mariah May to the chair of the fans, who actually was quite excited about Queen Aminata's comeback in this match. However, Mariah makes a comeback of her own with a sling blade and a fireman's carry into her May Day finisher that gives her the win. And though Queen Aminata did not win this match, you can really see that the fans are behind her, and the excitement that the fans had for Aminata whenever she had the upper hand was, to me, very promising for AEW to see that there is certainly a place for Aminata to be taken very seriously as a top competitor in AEW. So really, just with every match that Queen Aminata is having, she's constantly getting the approval of the fans even more so, and really causing that natural reaction that she has with each match for the fans to really get excited every time they see her. I love the chemistry that both women had. So I'm looking forward to seeing these women possibly collide again for another match. And I loved how even after this match, we had another great first here, which was Deonna Purrazzo debuting to cut off Mariah May from celebrating her victory. So this was just a really special night and a really important segment that so many people have watched. Even if it was just for Deonna Purrazzo's debut, they were able to see Queen Aminata and Mariah May tear it up in the ring. So it's just a really important spot for Aminata to be as she's continuing to make her return. So once again, we have Aminata perform well in AEW, and then she makes another appearance in Ring of Honor for a four-corner survival match, which I know I was amped for as I watch Ring of Honor on a weekly basis. It's always cool to see these matchups that they are putting together and giving women's just amazing time. I think usually on average in Ring of Honor, we're starting to see maybe 3, sometimes 4 matches for the women. So this week, I believe that was January 11th, the week of January 11th, it was another strong showing for the women. And we have Queen Aminata versus Trish Adora versus Diamante and Lady Frost. And I love that we, right after the announcement that Tony Khan made of the women of Ring of Honor getting a new title, a television title, the women on the roster have been on the hunt to qualify for this match that will allow someone, some fortunate woman, to hold this new shiny gold. And I love that this decision was made because with what Athena has been doing with that Ring of Honor title, with having so many women now want to be a part of the Ring of Honor roster, you gotta put some more gold out there. So having this hunt now for the Ring of Honor women's television title is just exciting for the women, and it gives them something else to fight for. So going into this match after their announcement of the ladies television title, the Ring of Honor ladies television title, we see a new dynamic. You see that hunt, that passion that a lot of women have to want to hold this title. And these 4 dynamic women step into the ring to show that they are ready to hold that title by showing how effective they can be in this match and how they should certainly qualify for that future opportunity to fight for the television title. And this match starts off with everyone giving each other the respect and shaking hands, but then blows are thrown. And both Lady Frost and Diamante are thrown out of the ring, and Trish Adora and Queen Aminata are left in the ring together. And this certainly made me feel a bit giddy because with Queen Aminata debuting for Ring of Honor a week prior to that, I started thinking about all of the matches and interactions that I wanted Queen Aminata to have, and I wanted her to have some time in the ring with Trish Adora. So this was just, I think, my answers, my prayers being answered. So they're in the ring together, and I was looking forward to seeing Trish and Aminata collide, but as these 2 women were sizing each other up, Lady Frost comes back and decimates each one in her path. Every woman starts to get their spots in, but Queen Aminata conjured up a plan to work with Trish Adora to eliminate both Diamante and Lady Frost, but slamming Frost from the top rope onto Diamante, which was a really cool spot in the match. This incapacitates both women, leaving Queen Aminata to double cross her temporary partner, Trish Adora, by throwing her out of the ring to get the pin on Lady Frost to win the match. So very quickly into her return, Aminata is proving that she is someone that you have to keep your eye on. You cannot make any alliances with her because she will betray you. She has been out for 9 months. She has a laser focus on getting to the top of the roster, whether it be AEW or Ring of Honor. So you cannot trust her to have an actual alliance with you. And I love how this was quickly shown in her return. Is only what 2 weeks in her return. She's showing how she will easily backstab anyone to get to what she wants. But I also think that, I hate to say it, but it's a smart move too, because it's allowing her to show how uh, how she's a strong candidate to be in a future match to determine who would have the Ring of Honor Women's TV Championship, because it's showing that hunger, that passion, and that drive that she has to do anything to get that title. So this was a very exciting match. You were able to see all of these women that are, of course, very qualified to possibly hold that television title, really show off how good they are and how much they want that opportunity. So once again, we go from Ring of Honor to AEW, where we see Haruka Kushida go against Queen Aminata. And I love the way that they've been stacking up the stakes for who Aminata is going to face. I love the difference in styles that you see from each week that Aminata has come back. I love that this also is a match that she's having against Haruka Kushida, because they are not strangers either in the ring. Shida and Aminata faced off against one another on November 25th, 2022's episode of Rampage, with Aminata coming up short. So I love that Aminata is getting this opportunity, definitely coming in with that loss in mind and wanting to rectify that, of course. And Shida recently held the AEW Women's World Championship. So this is a premier opponent for Aminata. And Aminata and Shida come into this match testing each other's strengths and showing off that they are equally matched, and they have a very aggressive sides. A hip attack from Aminata gives her control over the former champ. This match gets taken outside when Aminata gives a hard chop and stiff suplex on the floor to Shida, and both women get back into the ring and go blow for blow, with the crowd completely being in it and just knocking the wind out of each other. I like how you're seeing, to me, in my opinion, that same type of vigor and competition that Amina was showing right before her injury, when she had her tours in Japan, and having these one-offs where you're having these these chop-off sessions and kick fest. I like that she was able to have that moment with Shida. So that was really cool to see that time. And the fans were just like so amped up to see those spots where they're just insane. And you see a lariat from Shida that dazes Aminata, but the queen comes back with a knee strike. The katana creates a fatality to Queen Aminata. And I think with how well this match was done, it was really hard to determine who was actually going to come out on top of this, because it was so close at certain spots between the women that you didn't really know if they were actually going to let Queen Aminata get this match to put, air cap or not. Even with Shida winning this match, I love the sign of respect that Shida had, was shaking Aminata's hand afterwards, because I think honestly that type of competition, that level of aggression that Aminata brought in this match, really gave Shida, like an extra pep in her step, to know that possibly in the future they get face off again and continue to have these great matches. In my opinion, I think that this match that Aminata had against Shida really was one of the strongest showings, if not the strongest, that Aminata has had in her return to AEW. So if you have not seen this match, I really implore you to do that. And we see, once again, we have a great showing at AEW, and then Queen Aminata goes back to Ring of Honor to do the same thing. And this time we have an 8-women's match that I actually like, because sometimes these things can get quite tricky when you have so many women in the ring at one time. And of course, every woman usually having their own intentions on why they want to be a part of this match. So we have Kiera Hogan on one team, Queen Aminata, Billy Starks, Lady Frost, and Taya Valkyrie. On the other side, we have Layla Hirsch, Robin Renegade, and Rachel Erling on the other, and Taya Valkyrie. So this was actually really exciting match, in my opinion, because I loved how we had, once again, building up the personal intentions that everyone has, just to have a match so that we have an excuse to see all the women collide. You have every woman with their personal reasons explained throughout this Ring of Honor episode on why they have their sights on the Ring of Honor television championship, and why every match that they're going to have leading up to that opportunity just continues to show why they deserve to have that title. And you really see the women really trying to, over these next few weeks, to really put their best foot forward and show why they're very strong competitors. And I really like this passion that you're seeing from each woman to prove that. You see that hunger, and Rachel Erling and Aminata, I really at the point it has some really great chemistry in this match. They really go off in a series of chops and just really showing how strong both women are. And I think that was well placed for Rachel and Queen Aminata to have that meet up in the match, because they're truly, to me, one of the strongest of both sides in this match, of both teams. And I like that they were able to put that on display, and they can also take a lot when it comes to those chops. And it was really cool to see that Aminata, out of that series of chops that she had with Rachel Erling, was the one that had the upper hand after that, and she was able to bring that control back to her team, which was interesting to see. And ultimately, Aminata's team did get the win. And I like when it showed at the end that all of the women on Queen Aminata's team were embracing. But you can still tell, even with that moment, with them all being excited and rooting for one another, that underlying desire to have that Ring of Honor television title is still in the air. And I'm excited to see that build up, because you're going to start to really see the things come out with everyone wanting that opportunity to be to possibly hold that title. So this was a strong women's tag team match that, once again, when you have that many women in the ring, it could go wrong, or sometimes it can be a bit sloppy. But this was a really strong showing, actually, for each woman that was in the match. So we go back to another match with Queen Aminata in AEW. We have another great showing for Queen Aminata going against Chris Statlander. And I love how, once again, Queen Aminata gets a chance to fight against another very strong former champion as she battles the former TBS Women's Champion. I think another seal of approval that, as Queen Aminata keeps showing how diverse and versatile she is in the ring, that she keeps getting these strong opportunities to really show that she can stand toe-to-toe with former champions. Queen Aminata comes into this match strong, holding most of the control in this match. And after the break, Queen Aminata goes for the hip attack when Statlander is in the corner. Then a submission hold. But the power of Statlander comes into play as she easily lifts up Aminata and gains control with a vicious clothesline that takes out Aminata. She goes for the pin, but Aminata kicks out at 2, which was very surprising, especially considering that Chris is not used to someone of Queen Aminata's height or stature really being able to hold up to certain moves that she would put on her opponents, who sometimes are possibly even half the size as she is height-wise. So that was really cool. Or to have the same strength that she has. So it was really cool to see. There were certain moments where Chris was showing that she kind of saw that she had met her match with Queen Aminata, and that she really had to dig from within to actually get this match off. So that was really cool to see that. Aminata comes back in with the kicks, but Statlander gets the power slam in and hits her finisher to get the win. And this match, in my opinion, really helped show that Aminata could use her height and strength and stand tall in a match with someone like Chris Statlander. And I like that in the future, we can kind of have these two women to collide to show that both women can't have it in the bag as they might have with other women that might not have that height and weight advantage. They really have to have like a slugfest and really pull deep to win against one another. So that would be cool to see if that could be revisited. It was a really strong match for both women. And we're going to have the next match that I was really excited for because I was kind of hoping that this match could happen for Queen Aminata. And that is her match against Thunder Rosa. We see that both women have something in common coming into this match, as they both have returned from serious injuries and they really want to make the most out of this run that they have. So you see that genuine passion and excitement that both of them have to get back into the ring. And Queen Aminata comes into this match making her Collision debut, facing off against, in my opinion, one of the best former AEW Women's Champions, Thunder Rosa. And I love the reaction that Thunder Rosa got as she came out. It really helps to build the excitement of this match, but then also really helps to bring some adversity Aminata's way, with the fans really being taken by Thunder Rosa thus far. But you can tell that Queen Aminata always has to make sure that she comes in with that confidence and she looks unfazed by the crowd's reaction of Thunder Rosa. And to her credit, after such a strong month that Aminata has been having in AEW, the crowd was just as excited to see her as well. And we start off this match with both women locking up and getting a bit of smack talking in, which I thought was pretty good. And harsh knees to Thunder Rosa's rib cage pretty early on helps to set the tone that even though coming into the match, so people may have thought that Aminata would have a lot of adversity coming into it, but it's actually Thunder Rosa, because now she has to deal with Aminata literally seeking out a body part to attack throughout this matchup. And Aminata staying on it and really being clear that she is not going to let up. And just that spot where you see those knees going into Thunder Rosa's mid cage and just rib cage and midsection looks so brutal. But it doesn't stop the former champ, who takes it outside and chops Aminata, who quickly returns the favor. I mean, both women just will not let up with each other. Just a really strong showing. And as they have this interaction outside of the ring, it kind of allows Aminata to gain control. Aminata strategically works on Thunder Rosa's back and really actually takes joy in bringing pain to her opponent. Thunder Rosa lands some vicious strikes, but a brutal headbutt has everyone gasping. And somehow, even after the headbutt that Queen Aminata delivers, Thunder Rosa doesn't give up, and she hits the Tijuana bomb and gets the win. And I just absolutely love this match with the two of them. I think that they bring out this fire in each other. But in Thunder Rosa's defense, I think that she usually does that with anyone that she's in competition with. So this was just another example of that. And I like how Queen Aminata was in no way intimidated by the resume of Thunder Rosa. She definitely felt like she was equally matched. And not only that, the confidence of the fact that not only is she evenly matched, but she feels that she's very much in the spot because she can stand toe to toe with Thunder Rosa. So I loved seeing that confidence booming from Queen Aminata. I love how strategic she was in this match. I also have to highlight the great the great work of just like picking apart Thunder Rosa and showing how certain things just does not phase Queen Aminata, with once again going back to the semblance of what we saw, or the first rumblings of that with Queen Aminata when she teamed and tried to temporarily team up with Trisha Dora in Ring of Honor, and she showed that she would do anything to win. Her really picking that body part of Thunder Rosa and staying on it just really shows how far she would go to get a win. So as we see, just like I said, even if this was the resume of great matches that Queen Aminata could have possibly stretched out within a year, for this to just be January and Queen Aminata has been able to have these fantastic matches just goes to show that 2024 is going to be a very strong year, not for her, but I'm hoping, I'm praying that this is also a really good sign for the AEW women's roster with having these solid matches and really having just phenomenal competition. We have one more match that I really want to highlight because I love that this started off this new month for Queen Aminata once again having such a strong showing. But first, we have to pay some bills and have a commercial.
Hey, yo, you. Yeah, you that's watching this. You sitting on the couch staring at the screen not knowing what you want to do like this is an online college. Are you tired of wearing shirts that make you look like an extra stuck in catering? Do you want to step your wrestling swag game up to the next level? Then Women's Wrestling Talk has got you covered. Like literally. Are you for life in pink or black and white? Or maybe you're the EST and people need to respect you accordingly. Want to put some pride in your stride and show off the muscle in your hustle? Then make sure you check out the WWT store. Not now, but right now. Alright? What you waiting for? Head to www.talkpodstore.com and don't make me fight you. Shit.
All right, guys, you guys heard it. Go and get that Women's Wrestling Talk merch. And let's dig into this last showing. And it's funny because as I was making sure I was going back to watching the matches, this match pops up like at the last minute of me doing that research. And I knew that I had to put this in there because even with me coming up with thinking about really wanting to make sure I took a moment to highlight this past month for Queen Aminata, she keeps doing it up, just constantly going higher and higher. And we have to talk about this match between Queen Aminata and Serena Deeb, both two of my favorites. So this was really awesome to see these two come together. And Serena Deeb also has that same connected history of coming off of an injury, kind of taking a break to assess whether you want to come back or not. Serena was gone for a year and a half. She took a break from wrestling for that long. So it was very exciting to see her back in action. And I believe this was the second match that Serena has had since her comeback. And both competitors actually came into this match looking like they were excited and maybe possibly even asked to have this match with one another. So that was exciting. And both women are very great at groundwork in the ring. So it was exciting to see that Serena started off the match with trying to get Aminata on the ground because, of course, she knew that more than likely she would have the control of the match if she did that. But Aminata, just as talented on the mat, made sure that she countered everything that Serena was trying to do, even trying to lock in an arm hold. So I love that segment of the match where they're really trying to get one up on one another, but trying to get some grappling and submission holds in. So really great way to start the match. We see Serena trying to fold Aminata like a pretzel when she gets her on the mat finally, but Aminata utilizes the ropes to break the hold. Aminata has most of the control during the middle of the match, delivering very effective suplexes that really work on the back of Serena. So we're seeing a pattern. Aminata will work on the body part. She knows that you have something ailing you, she is going to work on it and continuously stay on it. So no different than her match with Thunder Rosa. We have a swinging neck breaker that brings Deb back into the action. A figure four lock on the ring post from Serena Deeb really stops Aminata's momentum and allows Serena to get back into the hunt of this match. And a Serenity lock gives Serena Deeb the win and Serena Deeb the win. I really love that these were the last two matches that Aminata had against Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb, who's also a former AEW Women's Champion, an NWA Women's Champion, and she did a great job when she was holding that NWA Women's Championship. So I love that we're seeing coming into this new month just some fantastic competition continue to go on and really getting as I saw this weekend when Collision came on, I started to see more of an uptick of very positive comments towards AEW's women's division with a lot of matches that we have seen. But particularly this Saturday, I saw the comments specifically being made towards Queen Aminata and the excitement that people had with seeing this push that she has been getting. And it was thrilling to see it because Aminata has been putting in that work. So to see her get this response just a few weeks into her return has truly been amazing. And I don't think, especially with the uncertainty that you have, I'm assuming, with coming back from an injury, you don't know how people are going to take your return. Are they going to feel like, especially you don't really even know how you're going to feel in the ring until you're in it, until you're really locking up with other competitors. So for Aminata to have such strict, awesome showings and also really having fans look forward to seeing her whenever she's advertised for a match is, I think, like, honestly, the best honor that you can have. But then not only that, from the higher ups, you're getting the ability to have stronger matches and more opportunities with each week that comes. And then her also pulling her weight of fighting in both Ring of Honor and AEW and staying within the storylines that they have for both shows is also amazing too. So Queen Aminata, look, the sky is the limit, for this year because you are certainly showing that you have come back to make an impact. And I liked, let's go to the comments. I like Queen Aminata's match against Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb in AEW. I absolutely did too. I really think it's going to be a match I'm probably gonna two matches that I'm probably gonna come back to when I talk about some of the best women's matches of 2024 when that time comes, because I just love the execution of each match, of how each minute mattered to show off both or all competitors in these matches and show how many different styles that they have. And I think that everyone was matched properly, whether it was Aminata against Thunder Rosa or Aminata against Serena Deeb. I think that these were just two strong matches. I think so far in the year, probably some of the strongest matches that I've seen in AEW. So yeah, I can't say enough about how great this booking has been for Queen Aminata's return. See, I would like to see Queen Aminata win the New Japan Strong Women's Championship this year. I would love to see that be a possibility. I think starting off this year, maybe there's been more of a push to really showcase the New Japan Women's Strong Championship. So I'm hoping that there can be, it'll continue to have that opportunity for AEW women, as we saw Willow Nightingale have those opportunities to compete for that title and to bring more attention on it, because there could possibly be times where that title could be defended in AEW for like a special show or something to continue to put attention around it. So I'm hoping that if it's not Queen Aminata, that can win that title, that at least she can be a part of, possibly chasing the title and having some really strong matches. And if she was to win, just like I said, bringing that over to AEW or something and really having time to build it, because that title really needs to have some more attention around it. They're trying, I see, as this year has started, but hopefully we can see more of a build up with that title. I like to see the potential match between Queen Aminata versus Julia or Stephanie Venker. Um, I would love that. One of my favorites right now is definitely Stephanie Venker, because I feel like with that aggression that she has, that would be perfectly matched with Queen Aminata. And both women, Stephanie and Aminata, love picking body parts to just tamper with and just take out their competitors. So I think that that would just be awesome to see these two women collide. I think that if they really build up Aminata, and if Julia stays with Stardom, and we still see her holding the title, and Queen Aminata really gets built up as one of the strongest women in AEW, then we can possibly see, and this would be really good if we saw Queen Aminata have that like a high level on the women's roster go up against Julia, because I love with Julia's character, with the way that she carries herself. She makes it very clear she's only going to fight the best of the best. So I would like to see, maybe, let's take maybe the middle of the year going towards the end, where Queen Aminata has been having these strong matches that she starts to win, so she starts to get a little bit of a streak, and then maybe you can bring in Julia, at that time, because then it really shows how strong of a competitor Aminata is, but then how much of a of a winning streak that she's had to really build in that pedigree without her having a title so far. So I think if she went on a winning streak, if Aminata had a winning streak, let's say over the next 3 months or something, it will make her an even stronger candidate to possibly go against Julia. So we'll see. There's many things that they can do with Queen Aminata, and I have to say, with this run that she's had so far, these might be thoughts that AEW is already having. We know with Ring of Honor, they also really like to showcase talent from Japan. Love showing off the amazing talent in Joshi wrestling. So who knows what we can see at any given time. But one thing is for sure is that it just feels like that AEW and Ring of Honor have completely just put to put a rocket. They really put a rocket on Queen Aminata, and they really want to showcase her. And it is awesome to see, because I have been hoping for this for a while now, for a few years, because of how talented Queen Aminata is. So she certainly deserves it. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of Deep Dive. Just like I said, if you have not checked out these matches that Queen Aminata has been having, you have to do that. I mean, it has just been so impressive to see, to me, one of the strongest returns that I've seen in a while, where even if it wasn't, it seems like there's been a lot of thought and care put into how Aminata was going to be showcased throughout this year. So please check it out. Get yourself updated on what Queen Aminata has been doing. And if you have been watching it, one thing that I applaud, especially after this crazy week that we've seen in wrestling with a lot of fans being disgruntled, one thing that I saw that was a positive this weekend was that a lot of fans took to utilizing social media for a good thing, and really showcasing how excited they were for Queen Aminata to get these opportunities in AEW, and praising the matches that she had. So please do that, so you can continue to see Queen Aminata get these opportunities, because us talking about what we actually love that's happening in a promotion certainly does help for someone like Queen Aminata to get those opportunities, to keep having them come in. So thank you for watching this episode like I said, if you haven't checked out Queen Aminata's run so far, please check it out. And if you continuously love seeing what you're seeing in this run for Queen Aminata, use social media for good and really make sure that you're showing that love online, because it certainly does make a difference. And as obviously, if you're watching this, you are a fan of women's wrestling, that is always needed to help to push certain things that we love to see from our female wrestlers, to get certain opportunities that, especially in AEW, is not always there. So when you see it, make sure that you're applauding that and you're supporting that with your positive words. And I look forward to coming back for another episode soon of Deep Dive, so we can get back into some awesome things in women's wrestling. So once again, be kind online, spread good vibes, and I will see you again soon.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.